Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Yes, you've heard me say I'm pretty confident that new Model Y Standard Range Plus is going to be using 4680 batteries. Now, we have to get things that we've been told in the past. Tesla may have set out a nice, clean, tidy path for the future of the business, and it looked great. We'll have nickel batteries for long range and LFP batteries for standard ranges and storage. More or less, that was the plan, without going into too much detail. Yup, that all made sense, looked great, wow. Even a possibility that Tesla could bring out a $25,000 vehicle, if that was the case. Everyone was happy. Shareholders felt like this was a great company to remain invested, and avid Tesla fans could now, one day, be an avid Tesla owner. Because everyone, and I do mean just about everyone, could afford a $25,000 Tesla, as long as you're eligible for the finance. But the world is a drastically different place today. Do you think companies have the ability to keep the same direction and plans before all this happened? Supply chains are down and commodity prices are unstable. Abundant necessary resources are now scarce and expensive. Alternatives need to be found in some cases. A new plan needs to be derived. It goes back to first principles. Tesla look at what their supply chains are now. What can they do with them that works best for the overall mission? In addition to that, Tesla's industry has also changed. Prior to the war, Tesla's demand was already reaching crazy levels. There were enough people who were wanting to purchase a Tesla out of luxury, but now there are people willing to pay more to buy an electric vehicle out of necessity. The world changed. You can't be dependent on gas prices. So things are very much up in the air right now, and Tesla needs to make some decisions. This is no longer such a consumer-orientated company. Tesla will do what they can to make the most products they can. Rather than being entitled consumers saying they wanted a performance 4680 or a Cybertruck or feel owed a $25,000 Tesla, Tesla has bigger fish to fry right now. Now, some people have started to speculate that these 279-mile range vehicles are actually using LFP batteries, and they're also saying that they're making these LFP vehicles in Texas. So I thought we could explore that possibility of Tesla making vehicles with LFP batteries in Texas. It's just that in this Texas factory, well, there is a massive 4680 battery production line. In fact, the largest battery factory in the world for potential output. So to me, it would immediately make sense to use the batteries created in the same factory rather than having to ship these very heavy batteries from China to Texas. They're already doing that right now. The Standard Range Model 3 actually has batteries delivered across the Pacific Ocean to California. Yeah, but do you know what's also in the Pacific Ocean? California. In order to get these very heavy batteries all the way to Texas, well, you'd likely have to end up going through the Panama Canal, and then you have to still get the batteries to Austin, likely via rail and road. Rail is 10x the cost of shipping per mile, and road is 100 times. And again, remember how heavy these items are. Either way, my point is that this is a long way to have to send LFP batteries and will add massively to cost and logistics when compared to making batteries on site from the big battery factory on the site. In fact, if I recall, Elon often talks about how important it is to make batteries on site due to the extra transport costs. China is almost the other side of the world from Texas. Alright, but what about the Standard Range Model Y in Shanghai? It gets 230 miles EPA equivalent and is LFP. We're only talking about an extra 50 miles of range, or 22% more range. Surely we can reach that. Well, this is a 60 kilowatt hour battery, so we can just add another 22% more batteries, and then we're at 73 kilowatt hour battery. Except these LFP batteries are about 125 watts per kg, and you just added 104 additional kilograms of weight in the batteries alone, probably an additional weight of 250 pounds with potentially adding weight in the battery pack. Oh, what does that mean? Well, it means that you actually aren't getting 270 miles of range simply by adding a larger battery due to this additional weight. That needs to be compensated for. Therefore, you're looking at closer to likely a 78 kilowatt hour battery, and we're not compensating for 250 pounds. We're compensating for initial 400 pounds of weight due to 18 extra kilowatt hours of batteries required to reach this 279 mile range. Actually, Tesla Economist, you are completely wrong. Weren't you paying any attention on battery day? Tesla are now making their structural battery packs from this new factory. 16% more range under 230 miles. That alone would be 269 miles of range, and probably not too hard to get the additional 10 miles through other means. Sure, which is why Tesla have been making LFP structural battery packs this whole time. That's part of the reason they beat the Chinese so much on range. Tesla LFP is already benefiting from structural battery packs. But whoa, an extra £400. Now, I actually own an LFP Tesla. it's absolutely remarkable, and I highly recommend one. But I assure you, it would not be close to the car it is today if you had an additional 400 pounds of weight. Well, actually, the BYD Han did something similar to this. They're using a 77 kilowatt hour LFP battery in the Han to get a tolerable range of 260 kilometers. Oh, wow, that's pretty close. And if BYD can, then surely Tesla can too. What are we talking about? Tesla are already hitting that much range of LFP. Well, 267 miles even, with the Model 3, which is using LFP. Except that Tesla achieved that with just 60 kilowatt hours, compared to BYD with all that extra weight means that BYD can only accelerate to 60 miles an hour in 8 seconds. For the record, 8 seconds is slow for even an ICE car. Could you even begin to imagine a Tesla with a specification of 8 seconds to 60? I don't think so. Oh, and Tesla would need even more batteries than BYD to achieve that longer range. But it doesn't stop there. This BYD is a sedan. Model Y is an SUV crossover. It is bigger and heavier, and as we just saw, weight affects range. Comparing a standard Model Y and a Model 3, we have a difference of nearly 40 miles of range. And not only that, the standard range Model Y from Shanghai is only a rear-wheel drive version. We know this new Model Y is all-wheel drive. In fact, other than the range, that is all we know about this model. Now, when you add an additional motor and powertrain in a car, well, that's more weight gain. Check how much range cars lose going from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. When Tesla used to offer a rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive long range, the rear-wheel drive would get 15 more miles of range. Whoa, we just lost 15 miles of range. Okay, it looks like we're back down from a model of 270 miles of range with 78 kilowatt hour battery down to only 264 miles of range, as we have an all-wheel drive drivetrain. Okay, we need to find 6% more range again, which is probably going to be about 10% more batteries. So we now have a Tesla with 86 kilowatt hours. This is now a very heavy car and would not handle particularly well, which is one of the main great benefits of a Tesla, the performance. Elon has said in the past that he doesn't see the point of larger batteries, describing them as a bag of potatoes, indicating that it would be beneficial to move in the direction of fewer batteries, not more. He's also talked about bringing the batteries more into the center of the car if there were fewer, further improving safety and handling. This direction would be in contrary to what he's been saying. Also, we would now be consuming about 50% more LFP batteries in this vehicle than we do in one standard range Model 3 or Model Y. There are opportunity costs to consider. Tesla are battery constrained. Does it make sense to reduce your output by 1/3, resulting in less gross profit? But what about BYD? Could it be that BYD are supplying these batteries and BYD Blade batteries are a cut above the rest? Well, for starters, I just told you that it takes 78 kilowatt hours for BYD to get just 260 miles of range. So no, this is not due to BYD's incredible technology. Not to mention, I think that Tesla have a really solid contract with CATL that may even disallow Tesla using BYD or any other LFP batteries. Just a theory. Actually, shows what you know, Tesla economist. BYD are supplying Tesla. Right, according to the Adam Jonas report from Morgan Stanley, it says Tesla are using the top 4 battery suppliers now, and the 4th is BYD. Okay, well, I'm not going to entirely take his word for that. There were also quite a few other inaccurate facts in that report. Doesn't mention BYD by name, and it may possibly be someone else like SKI, but maybe it is BYD. It would be interesting to know at least. Either way, from what I can tell, BYD have an even lower energy density than CATL's LFP. Well, what if it's not just battery day advances, but a new motor or powertrain? Well, I think that's what I didn't expect from the Plaid. This absolutely redonkulous motor. Well, the motor is what helped Tesla get this insane acceleration time. It didn't appear to make any major jumps in range though. A more efficient powertrain will help, but we're talking some serious jumps needed here. Basically, I think the only way for Tesla to achieve this level of range with LFP would mean an 88 kilowatt hour battery, which would make it a total dog to drive, but also I doubt there is close to enough space to even fit that many batteries in any way. On top of that, the cost is also starting to climb. Batteries are the most expensive element. It is not a good idea to add more and increase costs, especially with commodity prices doing what they are. Also, on top of that, CATL, who currently supply all of Tesla's LFP batteries, built a new factory, which is where the extra CATL LFP batteries are coming from. This factory is coincidentally just a few blocks away from Giga Shanghai. Now, do you think they'll be shipping these batteries to Giga Shanghai or all the way to Texas? The only other possible way is that somehow Tesla, CATL or BYD have developed some insanely revolutionary new LFP battery. I think there's no way Tesla want a car that heavy or want to consume that many batteries. I think Tesla have their own in-house LFP batteries coming that may be capable of this, but we're still 2 years away from that. I don't think it's feasible to ship LFP from China to Texas. I think Cato Road can supply enough 4680s while Tesla is ramping up this new model until the real battery factory comes online. I think there is no possible way this vehicle is using LFP batteries, unless they're using some sort of alien technology. So if it does turn out to be LFP, well, Tesla has just jumped 2 years in technology and I will be blown away. Hence why I hope these are LFP. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.